Good evening, I'm Mary Nelson. Shock and disbelief continue following the collapse of up-and-coming NFL player Damar Hamlin. He is still in critical condition tonight after going into cardiac arrest. So hard to watch that. CPR administered on the field got Hamlin's heart going again. Health officials think he suffered a rare cardiac event that occurs when something hits a person's chest and knocks their heart out of rhythm. It was frightening to watch, perhaps especially if you've played the game. Today, 3 News Now reporter Aaron Hegarty spoke with a former Husker and NFL player about what he wants to see at all levels.
For former Husker and Green Bay Packer Steve Warren, watching something like what happened Monday night in Cincinnati is hard.
I can't imagine how any of those guys would have been able to play again when you see your teammate and your brother down on the field. Getting CPR administered to them, and they're not breathing. Thank God there was, that the NFL is so equipped with medical staff being there because, it was definitely probably the difference between life and death last night for him.
But he says it shines a light on something that could use some attention. Medical staff, ambulances aren't at every game at every level.
It's a dangerous game we play, so we have to have people in place that know what they're doing.
Warren's seen it. He runs the Warren Academy, which works with kids as young as 9. He's coached in high school. His son played.
But I'd say if you've been able to get CPR started within a minute of recognizing it or within 10 minutes of the actual event, patients have a much higher chance of, surviving the initial insult, no matter what caused it.
William Nestor is a cardiologist at Methodist. In a situation like this, though,
you do not need to be a physician. You do not need to be a nurse to save somebody's life. And that's the biggest thing I want to stress with this is any person can do CPR.
For Warren, he'd like to see a little more preparedness.
I think having the conversations helps and making sure there is, protocols and things in place.
Aaron Hegarty, 3 News Now.
We wondered if the people around middle and high school sports in Nebraska are prepared like the NFL was. And here's what the NSAA had to say. Nearly 10 years ago, the organization worked with schools to ensure they have AEDs and helped make emergency plans. Athletic trainers on site are not mandated, but larger schools are likely to have them, and smaller schools often work with local clinics. And every 3 years, all coaches must take a class in cardiac arrest. Well, fans are showing their support for Hamlin by donating to his charity, and the donations are pouring in. Hamlin started the Chasing M Foundation Community Toy Drive and as of yesterday had a goal of $2,500. Last night, the fundraiser had less than $100,000 at one point, but tonight donations for the charity have surpassed $5 million. And locally, the American Heart Association says they've been inundated with people wanting to learn more today. According to the organization, for every minute that passes that a cardiac arrest victim doesn't get CPR, their chance of survival diminishes by 10%. Some of their fundraising efforts are aimed at training hundreds of area students on how to perform hands-only CPR, which doesn't require mouth-to-mouth.
Yeah, we talk about push hard, push fast. I think a lot of people are worried about breaking that sternum and hurting someone. Well, what's the alternative? So we want to just make sure that if someone is in that situation and you needed to perform CPR, you push hard, you push fast, and getting 911 called right away.
If you're encouraged to get certified, it is easy to find a course. Go to heart.org/CPR and click on Find a CPR course. I found 53 options just in the area around our station.